Greetings and salutations. It's been a long while, but I made a New Year's Eve promise to myself to get out here and try to do some live streaming again, so here we are. This is my first attempt to live stream only to Odyssey on an actual live stream and not a replay or a port over from YouTube and not testing. I think I might have this. I'm feeling really good about it. Anyways, background music, a little bit more, just a little. That'll work. Okay. Wanted to talk today about recovery. And if I can read from below, drinking like an idiot is all fun and games until it isn't. Some folks achieve a balance with their drinking, and to them I raise a toast. Just kidding. But for others, they just alienate friends and family and become that asshole. For me, gone through recovery a couple times. It has stuck. It's been a couple of decades so far. And I am still an asshole, but I've gotten past being that asshole, if you get what I mean. Let's take that music down a bit. That crested really quick. Anyways, I want to talk about... Oh, hell. Sorry about that. So, I want to talk about recovery. This is going to be kind of lighthearted, although it can be really horrible. But what the hell, why not try to make this a little brighter? Since it worked, and it was funny to me at least. So here's how it went for me. I was sent to drug and alcohol therapy 3 times. My problem was always alcohol. Chiefly, it was high potent Everclear style stuff. My goal in drinking was to drink until blackout. This astounded the doctor who sent me to the 3rd round of drug and alcohol rehab, because he couldn't see why anybody would want to drink till blackout. But then again, he's a doctor. He doesn't need to drink to blackout. He's got his shit all together. Unfortunately, there are dumb assholes like myself who just can't hack it. Side note, I was really glad I talked to a friend probably about 2 years ago, and we both discussed our alcohol issues, and I was very glad to see that we had the same one. So that was pretty excellent. We identified with one another. I'm further along in my recovery than he was. So maybe this can be instructive to somebody else who's also in the rut that I'm in. Now, the first time I went to drug and alcohol therapy, I was not sent there. I tried to get into it. Now, my goal in this was a bit of a scam. I wanted to change jobs where I was, and I figured this would be a great way to get me training because it already worked for somebody else. So I went, I got training, and rather than getting a cool job, I got another dipshit job where you had to put forth half effort and had absolutely no brain power to it at all. And I can't really be all that upset about the job because I was in a position mentally and use-wise where I wouldn't be able to take good advantage of anything nice happening to me anyways. I cannot even begin to tell you how many opportunities I have fucked up in my long life. Anyways, that counselor was okay, but he was far too intellectual. I hadn't gotten my BA yet, which doesn't mean much, but at least I would have understood his references more if I had it. And I ended up... hold on a minute. Damn it. Tech difficulty, please pardon me. Have to deal with it as I go. Anyways, he was too intellectual and everything was too well thought out. That didn't identify with me, and plus I didn't care anyways. I didn't want any help. Second time, I got sent. I can't even remember what the reason was. I might have showed up to work drunk. I could have been harassing somebody after work drunk on the work site. I honestly don't remember. It was a long time ago. So they sent me. Second person was more my style in the fact that he was working class. He looked a little bit like W.C. Fields. If you're old, you know who I'm talking about. If not, just Google an image of W.C. Fields and you'll see what I'm saying. That pockmarked nose, uneven use of the mouth. This guy wasn't too bright, and that really didn't resonate with me either. So I went to him for a little while. I dropped out, and I went back to drinking. Now, if you're going to quit drinking, you need to be motivated. If you have a relative who has problems with drinking and you don't know what to do about it, well, you can't really do anything. You can point in the direction, they got to walk through the door. Nobody can nobody can make them recover. Nobody can take a bath for them. You can't even brush your teeth for them, my friend. So you've got to work on the recovery thing. And they've got to be willing to work on it too. You be supportive. Now, one of the key ideas behind recovery is that you have to change your surroundings. You can't keep the same friends. They will pull you back into the same habit because drinking is a habit. All right? Any other drug use, it's a habit. You often can't keep the same job because that contains friends, and it could be that your job is so aggravating it inspires you to drink. I mean, you do take the drink. This is on you. But if you're trying to get into recovery, it might be better to change that. And you need a positive motivator. You need something to draw you. You need a carrot along with the stick. My third alcohol counselor was my carrot. Before I had older men, they were probably a decade to 3 decades older than me at the time. They were okay guys. One was too smart, one was too dumb. The third one was the one that tripped me. Now, I am not much into simpishness and trying to impress women because I find it silly, but back then I didn't know this. And you might say she used simp foo to get me to clean up. She was about 5'10". She was lean, not skinny, not sickly, but lean. Looked like a bit of an athlete. Short, curly, blonde hair. She was a fucking hottie. And we didn't talk about anything having to do drug and alcohol rehab. We just sat around and chatted for my entire hour every week. She would tell me stories from her life. I'd tell her stories from mine. The one story from her life that stuck with me, she told me, she was probably 19 or 20 at the time. So she was an intern, sort of. She told me about how at her high school one time, she went into the bathroom, kicked off all her clothes, put on some roller skates, and roller skated around the school naked. Now, to me, that was a very, very hot scene, and I devised a plan which was completely foolproof. I knew that if I, a drunken slob with no prospects, could just get sober, I would impress her, and this woman would fuck me. Now, that was the whole plan. I stop drinking, she bangs me till my eyes cross. This both worked and didn't work. I ended up quitting the job. Well, quit, got fired. It was a mutual meeting. So I left her way behind me. And I never got laid, but I did quit drinking in a pursuit to get to bang her. As I went on to my next job, having no money, I had to move in with a friend. Now, this has to do with changing your position, your living situation. He was a non-drinker. This is a guy who'd have like one wine cooler per week while sitting on the patio on a hot summer evening. So it was just insane. I had nobody around me who drank. I didn't have any of my old friends around me. And to be honest, I didn't even think about drinking for that first 6 months after I'd like moved in with him. And the weird part was that I didn't even know I'd stopped drinking until the end of that 6 months with him. And it occurred to me, hey, you haven't been hammered. Why not run with it? Why not lean into it? So that's what I did. Anyhow, that was decades ago. I got to admit, I've been drunk once in the interim at a friends reunion, folks from high school. That was about 2 or 3 years into living with that guy, but I never went back to it. And I was lucky enough to find a job where the boss actively encouraged me not to drink because he was not a drinker. He didn't like losing control. He's like one of those guys, control freak types. Anyways, I'm going to sign out now because I'm talking too much as always. I just want to make this a quick one. And what are we at? 12 minutes? Okay, we're out of here before 15. Just wanted to say, if you're entertained, good. If this gave you ideas, good. If you need help with drug and alcohol recovery, or you need to talk to somebody about a relative's drug or alcohol recovery, I don't know where you're at, but if you're in the States, call 211. not with 911, call 211. That is a batch number to give you references for help on a bunch of different things, whether it be electric bills, gas money, social services, or links to recovery services. Anyways, you got my best. I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you enjoyed Trailer Park Tales number 3, and ta-ta.